Good morning, everyone. Firstly, just to thank the Minister for really encouraging talks. Thank you, Minister. It's encouraging to see your appetite about the future of mobility and how it can make both locally, regionally, and nationally people's lives better. So thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Delighted to host the first panel this morning. Welcome to Move, welcome to London. The discussion we'll focus on now is very much about the fabric of tomorrow, the intersection between artificial intelligence and the future of mobility. I'm delighted to be here. I'm Rikesh Shah. I'm head of the Innovation Procurement Empowerment Centre in the UK, which is funded by the government. And it's about how do we use procurement to drive more public-private partnerships, particularly on transport, and make lives better by collaborating between the private industry and the public sector. A little bit of an overview before I introduce the panelists. You know, we now live in a society where most cities are grappling with the climate emergency, struggling with Vision Zero, gridlock congestion, and in an era where citizens aren't active enough. At the same time, we're trying to recover from the pandemic and working with tighter budgets, competing with wider public sector challenges. But what I would like to explore with colleagues here today is, are we standing on the brink of a new era where transportation is being redefined, not just by automation, but by the intelligence itself? AI is no longer just hype or just a tool. It's the driving force behind the revolution of mobility, making it safer, smarter, and more sustainable than ever before. From autonomous vehicles navigating our cities to predictive traffic systems, which the Minister focused on, how do we ensure that seamless flow in our cities and optimize the network? AI is transforming how we move, how we commute, and how we connect. So the question now is, no longer will AI play a role, but how quickly, how responsibly, and how profoundly can it play a role? So as we embark on this conversation with leading experts here today and industry pioneers, let's challenge the assumptions, let's explore innovations, and envisage a future both at a city level or a national level where mobility is not just a convenience, but it's the cornerstone of a better world. So firstly, I'd like to introduce the panelists, or if you could introduce yourselves, perhaps your organization and yourself, and also a question for you. On a 0 to 10 scale, how much can AI revolutionize transport? Starting with Anna.
Thank you. So Anne Laliron, I'm in charge of tech research within Stellantis. So Stellantis is a global mobility tech company with 14 iconic brands worldwide. And our mission is really to provide sustainable and affordable mobility for all. And on a scale from 0 to 10 on the AI, I would say that we are already at 8. AI is everywhere within the company. We use it on a daily basis, and we are still improving day after day.
Thank you, Anne. Dodson.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Dong-Soo Kim. I'm the CEO of LG Technology Ventures. We are the corporate venture capital arm of LG Group. We're based in California, in Silicon Valley, and we invest in startups. Obviously, we work with multiple LG Group companies, LG Electronics, which is one of the tier 1 supplier, also in the automotive space, and then also LG Energy Solution, big manufacturer of lithium-ion batteries. So we invest in all sorts of different areas of mobility. So AI, I think, I mean, it's not exaggerating when people are saying that what's called AX, AI transformation. I think AI will transform all stage of both, not just in terms of autonomous vehicles and whatnot, but also everywhere from design to manufacturing to research. So I think the impact will be from scale to 1 to 10. I think we are about to see become 10, really.
Thank you, Johnson. Anna.
I'm Arnaud Julien. I'm in charge of innovation and artificial intelligence within the Keolis Group. Keolis Group is a global mobility company. We operate all kinds of mobility from automatic metro, tram, coaches, train, bicycles, all the mobility. And we have 3 missions. The first one is helping city decision maker designing networks. Second one is operations. Third one is maintenance. And I will say AI surely will transform all the mobility. There are some sector of activity where more impact more quickly. I think we will globally be very impacted, but I will start from maybe 6 to 10 also.
Thank you. Nicole.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Karl Deppen. I'm a member of the board of Daimler Truck, and I'm in charge for our Truck Asia operations located in Tokyo. And what we do is designing, producing, and market trucks, commercial vehicles, and buses around the world, 9 brands, and every day dedicated people for everyone who keeps the world moving. And particularly pleased to be here today with dear panelists, because I think it's a great opportunity to check a bit where we are, what the status of technology is, what the status of application of technology can be, and how it can improve transportation around the world.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you, Carl. So we'll start with the first question for Arno, but a question for the audience here. Who came by public transport here today? Good. So some people came by the private car. Interesting. Anyone come by the DLR, Docklands Light Railway? Okay, so this will be relevant for you. Right, so Arno, the Docklands Light Railway has been driverless since the 1980s, so a long time. Tell us a little bit more about the service, but in particular, the rail service is very different to the road network, clearly. How do you see mass transit adopting to AI now and in the future?
So, in a lots of part of our activity, AI will play a big role already play a role. I will take 3 examples. The first one, when you go to some DLR station and it's going to be deployed, we are using CCTV to monitor and to avoid having people or objects lost in the track. And then the CCTV is detecting every people or object lost, and then alert the operator, and the operator can do something. But what we do also is in public transport, AI helping us to be more efficient when we talk about preventive and predictive maintenance, and also to predict ridership. And in some network, we are now able to adapt in real time the offer to the demand using real-time information and also ridership prediction.
So data is critical there?
Data is critical. Data is critical for AI, for sure. And data governance also.
And bringing others in. So Arno's given us a good use case on mass transit. Anna, what about your views? Where do you think AI could play a role?
So I think that we are really living in a multimodal approach on transport. It can be public transport, it can be personal transport, it can be also trucks for good delivery. And AI has a very strong power aggregating all those data. And if we work all together, we can really maximize and optimize the traffic. Yep. So today we are still a little bit working in silo. Depending on the industry, depending if we are transporting goods, passenger cars, but also public transport. Thanks to data, we have a tremendous opportunity to optimize the routing in the cities and to optimize the traffic, and at the end to optimize life and of our citizens, and also reduce emissions. So it's a tremendous opportunity to have access to those data and to use AI to optimize the complete system in a holistic way and ecosystem approach.
Thank you. And perhaps Don Su, firstly, tell us why LG is interested in in mobility, because most people think LG as an electronics firm.
So why we are interested in mobility?
Yep.
Well, obviously, yeah, because we are a very big supplier of for the automotive industry. I mean, LG Electronics is tier 1. We do infotainment systems, but we also make all sorts of different parts that goes into cars. Not many people know, but LG is for Chevy Bolt, the EV, 60% of bill of materials come from LG, so because we supply the battery, the motor, and so forth. So it's a very large component for LG. So mobility is just front and center of what we do.
And when we were talking before, you spoke about the in-car experience. Can you tell us a little bit more around the role of AI when it comes to the customer engagement within a vehicle?
Sure. So obviously, autonomous vehicles it will impact the in-car experience quite a bit. I mean, if you're not driving, then you have to spend the time doing something. Infotainment becomes critical, right? And then so you couple that with the autonomous capability, let's say you want to go to a restaurant, you just through voice you try to search where you want to go, and then the car will take you there automatically, for example, or all sorts of different entertainment that. So the demand for more infotainment system, bigger display, for example, in the cars and all that will just continue to go up.
And indeed, through AI, we have been able within Stellantis to deploy ChatGPT for the first time in the world on cars as a personal assistant. And again, the point is really to help our customers to have the best experience, to reduce the time also in traffic with AI used on e-route to help you to have the best, I would say, journey, and to have the best also options in terms of charging. So overall, it's a complete system to facilitate the life of customers and to reduce the traffic.
Thank you. And Carl, a question for you. Freight usage is increasing more and more. It's becoming a 24-hour society now to the movement of goods. How are you using AI in your role as Daimler Trucks?
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, modern societies need modern transportation. So that is a reality of everybody's life. We all got so used to order stuff in the morning and expect it to be delivered at our place on the same day. And every time there's transportation involved. So the goods have to move. So we have to be part of the solution, and that's what we are. And I think Anne mentioned it as well. We have a lot of silo information and data floating around. If we can bring that together, and this is where AI can make a huge uplift, I think, to improving road safety, flow of traffic in municipalities, and at the same time with an intermodal exchange, we can also really enhance the user experience, and that's no difference for commercial goods or for public transport or individuals moving from A to B. So I think this is where the big uplift is, bringing data pools together that can help us to enhance overall the flow of traffic, and by improving the flow of traffic, reducing emissions and pollutions as well.
And how are you working with city authorities or countries around sharing data and optimizing traffic?
Well, we have a couple of very interesting pilots running at the moment. We did one last year for battery swapping, because we found out for electric vehicles there is in certain applications still a lot of range anxiety. We try to overcome that with swapping systems together with other partners. We also see that by doing so, we found a way that we can share battery technology among trucks and cabs and passenger cars. That's a big step forward, because all of a sudden we can get better traffic on the swapping system. So make it a more usable and more attractive solution for everyone. So these are key examples. We see a lot of AI applications, of course, also in the entire value chain of goods flow. That industry has always been driven by efficiency gains. But this is also clear that our customers invest a lot in improving flow of goods, enhancing the flow of information, and the predictability and the planning quality plays a big role in safeguarding efficient transportation and supply.
And earlier, and it's a question for the group here, maybe Arno, we spoke about data sharing and some of the challenges which everyone's keeping their own data, and suddenly we're creating lots of separate digital twins. How do we address that?
Yes, because when you are in charge of public transport, if you look only at your data, you are not able to increase the market share of public transport on the market share of shared mobility. So what we do is gathering all the data coming from suppliers to understand all the mobility in a city. And looking at all the mobility, we can see what are the impact of decision made by the city. For instance, if there is a decision of new infrastructure for bicycle, if you don't look at the global picture, you don't know if it's cannibalized public transport, cars, or if it's an increase of mobility. So it's important to measure all this to have better mobility, a more sustainable mobility, and more shared mobility.
So, and thank you. And Anne, a question for you. So when I was at Transport for London, and we had lots of data, and you have lots of data, but we don't always trust each other. How do we break that so we can actually share data more efficiently?
Yeah, no, that's really a good point. And I spoke about multimodality, but a lot of data that is not completely shared in order to optimize at the city level the traffic, the emissions also. I can give you a concrete example that we have been working with the city in France. We have a lot of all of our cars are connected now, and we have a lot of data, aggregated data that can be useful for city to improve the traffic and to improve also some junctions which can be dangerous. In one of the cities in France, we discovered that there were activation of safety braking quite often at a junction. And we informed the city hall, and they made some improvement of the junction to reduce the risk of accident, thanks to the data that we get from the connected vehicle. So it's a concrete example, but there are many others, and we are still at the beginning of the journey. So by really not working anymore in silo, but working all together with good transport, also last mile delivery transport, but also public transport for people, passenger cars, we can at a city, and not only at the city, I think at a country level, we can really improve and reduce the burden of transport, and also have a frictionless experience for our customers.
And that's a great example there of both Carl, Arno, and yourself sharing data with cities. You know, last year across the world there were 1.2 million road deaths as a result of a road collision. And we're desperate if we want to get to Vision Zero. So I think just doing things ourselves is not good enough. So it's really encouraging to see what you're doing. Just moving the topic on slightly, Don, soon for you. Connected autonomous vehicles. There were 400 pilots across Europe last year. How do we break through this cycle of continuous pilots that aren't scaling when it comes to CAV?
Yeah, in the long run, I do believe that autonomous vehicles will decrease the ownership of automobiles for sure, because it just provides a better experience than ownership, especially how do you now make sure that you proliferate? I mean, obviously I live in San Francisco Bay Area. Actually, if you have a chance to visit, I mean, you can take the Waymo. Just one ride, you understand the impact of the autonomous vehicle. It's just such a much better experience than an Uber, for example, or a taxi cab. The fact that you don't have to deal with a driver, you can just set the stereo, play the music that you want, and so it's just and it's more efficient because you have less drivers, but the cars, I mean, because you don't have to park the cars, it's just running all the time. So. At the end, I mean, I think it's just going to be a huge impact that's going to transform the transportation on the mobility side, and it's not just cars. I mean, like for example, there are buses and shuttles that can be automated. That is going to make a big difference too. I mean, especially if you go to in Asia. I mean, if you go to the countryside, there are a lot of elderly people living in these little towns. It's really hard to find drivers for the buses because they just don't want to live there. And if you have this autonomous shuttles, it's really life changing for these people.
And I'll just bring you in, but one follow up for you. As a venture capitalist, there used to be lots of investment going into CAVs. Is that still the case, or is that as a hype reduced?
Sorry, it's hard to
yeah, as a venture capitalist, there used to be lots of investment in connected autonomous vehicles. Is that still the case, or has the hype reduced?
I think there's a little bit of a hype that was reduced in the last couple of years, but I think it's coming back. So autonomous vehicle is now getting a lot more attention, especially with Tesla, for example, launching their robotaxis in a few cities. I mean, obviously Waymo has been around for a while, and people who have ridden in one of those robotaxis realize, wow, the impact is great. So on the investor side, there's definitely a renewed interest in investing in companies. I mean, obviously we have portfolio companies like May Mobility, which is just the valuation has been going up quite a bit, and there's quite a bit of investor interest.
And I think AI is really a game changer in that perspective, because a few years ago, there were things that we were not able to do, and thanks to AI, now we are able to do. And to have scalability of autonomous or automated driving, we need to optimize and to improve the affordability of it, to have it not only for some happy few, but really to be able to spread it and to scale it. And thanks to AI, we are able now to do things that we were not able 2 years ago. So I think we should see in the coming years also tremendous improvement in that area thanks to AI.
And Uber just made an announcement in London last week about testing at potentially cabs in London. Arno, and then perhaps Carl. Firstly, a question for you, Arno. What role could cabs play in mass transit? And the same question for you, but for fleet.
It's playing a role of part of the multimodality. I don't think it's a good thing if you will have everybody moving on an autonomous car within the city. You have not the space for it. You will always need the mass transit. You will always need buses and coaches, even autonomous. We already have some shuttle, and we work also with suppliers on autonomous buses and coaches. And I think we have to master all this mobility to be more efficient. Autonomous vehicles are part of the solution, but the solution are to be sustainable. That we have to avoid having a lot of vehicle going alone in the city instead of sharing mobility.
And on the freight side?
Yeah, on the freight side, I think it's the same situation. Of course, we all know the Waymo case in California. I think well known to many people. We as Daimler Truck, we operate the Torque autonomous driving trucks in the US already on the road. So we also see that highway traffic is completely different from inner city traffic with regards to autonomous. And in Japan, we are also working together with the government on some pilots for putting autonomous trucks on the road. Of course, use cases are different, but especially in Asia, and it was mentioned already before, driver shortage is a significant consequence of demographic change. So we see that already in Japan happening big time. Korea has similar development. So autonomous solutions will come, be it in shuttle buses, be it in goods transport. And the question is, when is the technology ready to put it on the road in mass market? And there are always different prognoses, but it will come and it will add value to communities because it will enhance transportation and it will facilitate the contribution to smoother, safer, and also less emission transportation.
And a question on skills. You know, many of your organizations are probably thinking about your future workforce. How are you thinking about the role of new technologies and AI as you recruit the future generation? Oh no.
Yes, skills are very important because AI is profoundly changing all profession. So what we push is the first pillar is about acculturation. About identifying the good use cases. The second pillar is about training. We train a lot of prompt engineering to understand also what to do and what not to do, because we don't want our strategic information or our data to train all the model. And the third one is to reinforce the data governance, to go to an ethical AI also, and to be all aware of the risk and the opportunity, because it impacts everybody in the company.
Anyone else on skills?
Yeah, I can. I'm happy to jump in. A couple of things mentioned, very important also for us. It's not only about recruiting new talent; it's also upskilling or reskilling the existing workforce, because the trend is developing so rapidly. So we need to make sure that everybody is part of the journey and also understands the benefits we can get from an AI, but also understand the risk related to it. So. Besides the business application and the penetration through the entire value chain, from engineering, design, production, logistics, the entire spectrum, it's also important to make people aware of what are the risks related to that. So also in terms of governance, in terms of compliance, when applying AI, that's an important element of educating and upskilling the workforce, and this is where we put a lot of attention on. And just recently, we raised a big initiative throughout the group to really make people more aware and also encourage people to be less afraid, but make full use of it. So it's actually, it's more an augmented intelligence where you basically blend existing skills with the capabilities of technology moving forward.
Good. Thank you. Johnson.
Yeah, and I also want to stress the impact of AI in the manufacturing of the vehicles, right? So it's just all the way from R&D to design to quality control, yield, all that is going to be impacted by AI, which will translate to better cars, lower price. Yeah, it's just good all around. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely tremendous what we can do and what we already do with AI in the industry, and we underestimate the power of it, but it's already a reality. For instance, within Stellantis, we have tools to accelerate maintenance activities within plants deployed in all our plants. We have also tools to help dealers to fix and to resolve issues with gathering all the automatically all the issues that we have seen that could be similar, and we are also using for sure AI to evaluate the customer feedbacks in a very, very rapid way. In the past, it was days and even weeks to analyze those data. Now it's minutes. So it's really a way to improve overall our operations. And I think it's really important, and we have a strong, within Stellantis, a strong push on learning and teaching AI to everyone. Everyone should use AI every day to optimize our work, because it's really a powerful tool, and that's what we are doing right now. And we see already the effect. It's absolutely tremendous. And we are only at the beginning.
And the question I want to just build on is, we've spoken about our staff and the role of AI. We've spoken about training and some of the other things. Let's talk about trust, and trust with our staff, but also trust with the customer. As we collect more and more personal data, is there a risk here that if we don't manage it right, we could end up losing trust very quickly and people become cynical?
It's all about transparency and experience. You know, at the beginning, when we started to have ChatGPT on board in our cars as a personal assistant, you have to experience it, and then you start to understand how it works, that it can really add added value, provide you added value, and then you build trust with your customers. So interaction with customers, getting the feedback from the customers, helping them to understand the technology is absolutely paramount if we want to build this trust. And step by step, you start to know how it works, what it can provide to you as added value, and then you build step by step the trust.
And Don, we're talking about in-car entertainment, and again, there'll be lots of data going back and forth. How are you making sure that you don't just sell lots of advertisements to the driver? How are you protecting the citizen?
Oh, how are you protecting the driver? So at least for current state of autonomy, obviously a human driver is needed to make sure that the car, you know, if it does make a mistake, then you're controlling the car. But despite that, I mean, the fact that you don't have to pay 100% attention to the road all the time is quite liberating, actually, if you have experienced it. Allows you to do a lot of other things that normally you wouldn't be able to do when you're driving by yourself. So people are underestimating the convenience of a more sophisticated ADAS system. Everybody's thinking about just fully autonomous, but you don't really need to go to fully autonomous to have better rider experience.
And Arno, obviously you work in a closely unionized environment. The role of AI with the unions could be tricky. Are you starting to engage with unions about new technologies?
We use transparency. There is new opportunities, there is risk, and it comes. I talk about training not for everybody, but acculturation is for everybody. So we already talks to the unions about how to use AI and what we believe in. AI is here to help employees to be more efficient, not to replace them. So it's a tool, and what we can see is when you use it on a daily basis, it helps every of our employees. And we don't use ChatGPT, we do have our own GPT, Keolis GPT, and based on multi-LLM, and what we push them to try it, because try it and you will see it can help you.
And I think we're close to time, so the final question for the group here is we've got lots of partners here from academia, startups, corporates. What's your approach to partnerships in the role of new technologies, working with the wider ecosystem? Carl?
Yeah, maybe I can start. And actually, we have right at the entry Empel being present here. Empel is one of our partners for the battery swapping. And as I mentioned, we are just about to start a big trial in Tokyo, the most populated urban area in the world still. So that is where we have tangible solutions together with partners to improve the traffic situation and accelerate the acceptance and implementation of new technology. And that's a perfect showcase to show and to demonstrate how partners teaming up can make a big stride forward.
10 seconds, Arno.
Yes, we try to be agnostic of the suppliers to be agile, because we need to be agile with different kind of client also, depending of the country where we operate.
Yes, the partnership between the startups and LG is really the reason of our existence as a corporate venture capital team, and we do have an internal business development team that helps to help get the startups get connected with the right people within LG and promote partnership.
Thank you. Fine, Anna.
So to get safer, affordable and inclusive mobility for all, which is really the objective of everyone around the table, we really need, as we said, to work in partnership, collaboration with universities, startups, big groups like corporate like us, and stay grounded in purpose using AI. Only using AI when it makes sense, not just for the sake of it, but really having customers always in our mind.
Thank you. What a lovely way to end. Make sure you use AI to make lives better. Thank you very much to our panelists.